afternoon. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar, another session in our Legal Technology webinar series. I'm Hella Schwartz-Grossman, Marketing Manager at Worldox, and I have a few housekeeping items before we get started. The session will be recorded. Everyone is muted, but if you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the questions pane, and we'll address questions at the end of the session. Today's session is an overview of our new Worldox Web 3.2, providing you the opportunity for a first look at the new features. And I'm very excited to announce that our speaker today is Ray Zwiefelhofer, President of Worldox. And thank you in advance for the attention you'll be giving the webinar today. And Ray, it's all yours.
Thank you, Hella. And thank you all for joining. I haven't worn a tie in like a year. So I thought just for you guys, I would put on my tie and look professional. Maybe I should do that more often. Can't wait to get back in. Hopefully you are safe and well and going through whether getting vaccination or not and all that. Our family is doing well here, and the Worldox family as well too. We've transitioned to remote fairly well. But we're eager to get back in and start collaborating amongst our colleagues and such. So I wanted to kind of do this today. I'm excited about some of our new direction, and I'll have another webinar probably later this year talking about our overall foundational changes and direction for product lines. But today mostly about Web 3.2, which will be released shortly. It's in pre-release right now, and kind of the strategy behind where things are going there. So in late 18 and most of 19, you know, we knew that we needed more of a thin transport. As most of you know, Worldox GX4 is not a thin transport. It's looking for your local documents and directory. And with adoption of the cloud and remote offices, and of course, the pandemic hit, and now we have remote work, pretty much standard. We wanted to make things more thin. So about a year and a half was spent rewriting and really from the ground up our web server infrastructure. So this the new web server now that serves and has all the APIs in it, programming interfaces, allows very rapid and quick access to Worldox data sets wherever that data may be. It has more and more APIs or interface items close resembling GX4. Not only that, but it's has ability to set up cluster web servers and make it very, very robust and secure. So with that there, the Worldox 15 product, we're not talking about yet till we get a little bit closer, but the goal for that product, it will also use this new web server architecture to deliver, gather, and get data, save documents, etc. So it will too, our goal is to make it thin. So think of data anywhere, Worldox anywhere with any client. So along the way, we have been focusing very heavily on making a web client that is continues to get stronger and continues to get closer and closer to Worldox GX4 as far as functionality and usability. And it can't all happen overnight, but hopefully those who are using 3.1 will see 3.2 is vastly greater in functionality, speed, access than 3.1. 3.2 has been rewritten in brand new React language. Is much faster and I guess easier to navigate and other things. So without further ado, I'll walk you through. This will not be a long demo. I'll keep you guys just a short while. As you probably know, if I was doing a GX4 demo, we could spend an hour or two on all of the bells and whistles. And web is much simpler. It has the functions you need, but not a lot of other options, and we'll add these options as customers request them down the road. And as you might suspect, as soon as I get 3.2 out the door, get all the little nits, bugs fixed, and make sure it's really stable in the field, we'll immediately begin on Web 3.3, which we already have a whole bunch of features that we'll be adding to that. So just a starting point here. Two ways you can access the web for access to your document set. One is through any browser, such as Chrome. You hit our URL, you log in, it directs you to the interface for your firm, and it allows a Chrome access really anywhere, anytime into your document set. Keep in mind, with this model, there is no Worldox agent installed, and the agent, I'll refer to it for simplicity, is the module in Worldox that pops up when you save and open in Office and other things. So this is just a browser. So you would find work, search, view, etc., and you would use the download, upload model to access things, which is less convenient than our Worldox users, but that's typically the way the web works. So I'll show you kind of the functionality here in Chrome, and then I'll move to the to our agent to show you kind of what that does also. So first, we are experimenting more with using the white space of our home page, and this has been requested for a while, and we decided to make the plunge and start with this here. This will be growing over time. This does not quite have the aesthetics that I like in it, but we're working on that every day to make it more pleasing, and we also, once we get out in the field, we'll look forward to the awesome feedback we normally get from you guys. So from the home page, you can configure what you have here, and it's common things, your favorite matters, your bookmarks, workspaces, that kind of thing. We also are starting a configuration screen. This will grow over time too, where you can have different views of the home screen. You can actually configure it to select what you want on there. And again, this simple 4 options: your favorite matters, your favorite files, your bookmarks, and your workspaces, kind of the Worldox go-to items. But this too will continue to grow and be configured over time. So here again, from your home page, you can either simply type search for a document, and or you can simply select something you've been working on in the past. You can go directly into let's say a favorite matter, and very quickly you have your matter list comes up. So from here, once you're in the matter list, your client, whether it's a search or a direct row into a matter, this happens to be display producers, a matter 10140. It allows you to have the full column features pretty close to Worldox. So you can configure and change your columns, change things around. The ability, for example, categories, to add and remove and change categories directly in line as you're allowed in Worldox, to change sort orders for each column. And also keep in mind with the web, you have to paginate in some way, meaning when you're in Worldox, and some of the challenges we all have, when you're in Worldox and you do a search and it retrieves 10,000 files, well, because it's local and nice fast C program, it indexes and pulls 10,000 files up and puts them in your list that you can instantly scroll through. And that's kind of a client-server program, easier to do. With web, it's slightly harder. You have to paginate, you have to bring chunks across. So we've tried to do this as fast as possible. We've also created some pretty cool caching technology that allows you to do up to 200 files per page. So when you do a search or you do a browse, without having to go to the next page, you can do up to 200 files on a list, which usually gets you close to what you're looking for there. Much better than some of the older versions where we had to cap at 20 files, let's say, because of the speed coming back. So it brings it back pretty fast. So again, you have typically the file list, which you should be used to from Worldox, allows you to configure, make a favorite view, change your column settings. They have, of course, viewer, highlight a document and press view. The viewer comes out, and this doesn't have a lot in this document, maybe it's a bad example. But Let me find maybe something else that has a little bit more documents in it. So you can also do things like cut and paste like you can in Worldox, uses the same viewers or Inzo viewers. You can also hit the search and search within that PDF or Word or whatever you may have up on the screen, which is really handy, as you might know. You can also hit the expand button and change this to full screen for a larger view of the document. In addition, when you do a search in Worldox Web 3.2, it will also highlight the hits of that search in the document for easily finding that there. So that's the file list there. You shouldn't have a lot of trouble understanding that from using Worldox. Right click again, many of the commands are available in the right click, move and copy and other things. I won't get into this. The communication collaboration is maybe another demo, but we're cloning the ability that we created in the recent GX4 update with Teams and OneDrive collaboration into Web 3.2. In fact, the developers tell me they're slightly rewriting it to make it work the same in both the Windows client and the web client. So you'll be able to, if you use 365, more and more firms will have their account. You'll be able to do a one-off sharing within OneDrive, and within reason, even check out and check a file back in as a version within OneDrive. But more importantly, in Teams, some of you, hopefully you've seen my Teams webinar. If not, I'm sure there's a recording there. But in Microsoft Teams, you can create a new matter-based team from Worldox. You can then share files, check them out into Teams, share that team through Microsoft Teams with your customers, allow them to edit, make changes if you want, and then actually check those files back into Worldox, and it removes them from Teams. So it has a really smooth interaction for sharing and collaboration there. You also, of course, can simply export to a team and do a read-only share for maybe a final document or something that you don't want to check back in. Of course, the typical share file and other integrations that we're used to supporting there. So fairly robust in that area there. The file list continues to be a little bit more, I guess, useful. We've added the metadata tag. A lot of you like. You can see all the metadata fields. If you don't have the columns like the client matter, etc., and you do a search, you want to find out where that document is, open the metadata, and you can see the exact location where the document is. Also added is filters. So you can very easily, just like Worldox, go and just filter for just agreements or just contracts or briefs, and it will filter the list down accordingly and give you what you need. This is was missing from the prior version, and with the new APIs, we are matching what we do in Worldox on GX4, which is one of the highlight features that I know you all really like there. So that's the file list there. Of course, you can change, like I said, the number of items retrieved in each page and save that, depending on, it also depends on your internet speed, your speed of the servers, and that kind of thing too. So every environment is not created equally. But if you have a very fast internet and connection and a good web server to host Worldox Web, then you can set this to 200 files. So you're getting the most files at each time. However, we know that you may have a mobile connection on a vacation somewhere, and it may be a hotel connection, for example. You can start setting this to maybe 20 files, so your search retrieval will come back faster and be more pleasing. No one wants to sit and wait too long for things. So that's about all I have on the file list here. You can, of course, go and filter by doc type and extension and stuff up here in the panel like you can Worldox in the search bar. Moving on to navigation, I'll do next. Again, we tried to simulate closely what we have in Worldox, so it's familiar, but I think we've cleaned things up and made it a little bit more simple. So we have the favorite files, favorite matters, cabinets, your workspace view, and of course your bookmark view. So if I expand this open here, I can go into my favorite files. And again, just like Worldox, this will follow and inherit whatever you've done in GX4. So you're back to the office and you're using GX4 and you create and work on documents, and which expands your favorites, of course. It will then be carried through and read by Worldox Web 3.2. So very synchronous in that operation there. Here you can choose your favorite files and go forth with some of that stuff there and make it real easy. The favorite matters next doesn't need to be too much explaining here because you guys have that in Worldox, but as you click on your favorite matters, you then can go through and basically click on a matter and have that come up very fast and easy. And again, this builds favorite matters both in the web client if you just use that, and or if you switch to GX4, it continues to add to that list. So it's synchronous. I think the overall goal for Web 3.2 and its following versions, maybe 3.3, 3.4, will be to be standalone. If you don't want to use GX4, you're pretty much remote all the time, you can jump in this app and use it like you do the Worldox there. That's really the goal, and we have to kind of inch our way there. Creating the final product in one stage was a little bit of a reach. So hopefully this, as you start using it, you'll find this is much closer to all the features that you would want in there. Workspaces, of course, allows you to go through and create your workspace folder, create your projects underneath here. And then, of course, you can grab files, drag them into the folder, drag and drop, just like Worldox, to add files, to organize those even deeper within and under that matter. Then, of course, bookmarks, pretty easy to do. Here again, it will take your bookmarks, inherit from what you've done, but more importantly, when you do a search or a matter drill into a particular folder, you can simply say add this list, and basically you can give it a name and add a bookmark on the fly to continue to build your list. Another kind of cool thing is many people don't use this. They use our legacy bookmark tool, which is pinned bookmarks. So when you click that, your bookmarks will show on the top here. And then as you get to the end, if you have an overflow, it'll come down like this. So you can, very easily either pull up a search template and or, go directly into a particular search or a folder. So, that City Mesa Gas Pipeline had 6,236 files, and you saw it comes back extremely fast. One of the goals for this product is not just changing the aesthetics and the functionality to be more usable day to day, but was to make it faster. And it's not as easy as creating a desktop product where you control every aspect of it in a real fast machine. It's all reliant on the web connection and through the server process. So very, very quick accordingly. Even going to the next page comes up fairly quick there, so you can scroll through items. So the last thing on navigation would be cabinets, and this works just like Worldox. You have your cabinets on client files, for example, Ron's Fifth Avenue, general matter, and here you go, loading the matter. So shouldn't be a big stretch here for how this works here. Kind of a cool thing, if you're in a client, you can go to the breadcrumb here and actually drill down, and it'll show you all the matters within that client. So you can jump back and forth or move around in case you maybe got the wrong matter. I kind of like that feature. It's another quick in front of you way to navigate in case you clicked in the wrong one, or it's the matter 2 instead of matter 1, without having to go all the way back to the tree and click on that. And again, even not just a search, but even this matter drill right here, you could go and pin a bookmark and save that as you wish. So next step is maybe a search. So let me go back to, so from anywhere we have a search up here. So you can, probably way too many agreements here. Let me, maybe try employee agreement here. Another thing, we're trying to expand the quick search, without making it the advanced search. You have a full advanced search like Worldox, where you can filter by any field and any text that you want. But we're also trying to do something within the quick search to further refine the results. And the reason is very important. As I mentioned before, a web browser type of setup, any web DMS type of setup, has trouble giving you back everything it finds. It wants to paginate, it wants you to filter more. And we're trying to think of better ways to have you request less data so the results are more pleasing. So you type something in, you may or may not know the date range. This was a year ago, this is within the current year or farther back. And also looking for documents, you say, no, I'm just looking for PDF documents because that's the, I know it's a PDF document of something that I did. So it allows the search to further refine stuff to give you a much faster result set if there's thousands of files in that there. But a quick search here, employee agreement, allows you to come up with that. And I believe, yeah, I didn't do contents. Let me do contents. I'll probably be very huge list. Yeah, so that was just description I did. Now I did contents, file description contents. There's 2,300 files. This is where you start using the tags and the sort to get things down a little bit further. As you view, again, depending on where you do the search, you'll have it in both areas there. This also applies to the home page. The same application here. You choose kind of where you want things to search, and then you can go here and quickly search within there. So search navigation, file list should be fairly straightforward for you all. Things that we've added that are important to be able to use this every day is, as I mentioned, being able to add a bookmark in any location you're at, being able to add projects under a workspace so that you can create many folders as you want, drag and drop files to the folders to further organize. That matters. It was important. As you know, right click, being able to add tags on the fly and categorize that way if you choose to was a new feature, very important. That's been enhanced. So little things like that, adding your favorites. So the heart, yeah, click on a heart, and that will now add it to the favorites. So when you go to favorites and say my chosen favorites, it'll add those to there. So we've tried to think of most things that clients will want and use in an everyday usage of Worldox here. Going up to the menu items and bookmarks off. Here again, because I'm just using the web right now, you would have to choose download and then upload back a document into the system. And our Worldox users are not always used to doing that, but I would say non-Worldox users and the rest of the world are used to a web browser being a download, upload type of methodology. But we had to start here at a base level. Viewable document, checkout, copy, move, edit metadata. Makes it pretty easy to go edit your metadata card. Your favorites come up here to allow you to copy. That would obviously change the location if you went too far in that and change the client matter. Most of you Worldox users are used to how that would work. And various things here on the menus. And you notice we put direct access in here. A lot of you are used to maybe not doing a search, but quickly direct accessing into a particular location. And having that come up very rapidly. You know where the client matter is. You just want to type it in and go there. So that's there too, as well as advanced search. This will follow some of what we're doing with Worldox 15, which will be announced later in the progress later this year, early next, where we have a configurable ribbon bar navigation there, much like Microsoft Office. So here for your firm or individually, you can actually take and append or add any buttons that you want on your home location, move them around to make them kind of your ribbon or your toolbar. This is not done. I look at this and we need to move the home to the left, and I see things here before we get the full release that I'd like to make more look like GX4, of course. But the cool thing is it's very configurable to do that. Of course, then we have the typical file menus to add other features, the edits, the list. I don't have to go into all the details. If you go to search, here's all your saved searches you have. Bookmarks, all your bookmarks here with the ability to add a list to the bookmark. And then of course the display, which this will grow as the product grows, obviously, but hide the comments within the list or preview the metadata, preview filters, that kind of thing. And then of course the sharing menu, which allow you to email a document and save or share through the various aspects of sharing. We went down the route. We've tossed up making our own sharing program over the years, and the complexity, and then the competing with products like ShareFile even. We decided it was best just to tightly integrate and partner with them. And then with Microsoft 365, OneDrive and Teams, it's free with the subscription. Most of our clients have that. It just makes sense to really tightly use the graph APIs to integrate with that in a way that makes sense. So that's the general product. Now when you upload, when you download a tool, in fact, you can do it from the menu here, download the web agent tool. Let me move this over here. You'll have then, excuse my messy desktop, you'll have the web integration agent that you have on your screen. It will then load the Web3.2 within a browser window, but it's a frame that has no other browser features up here. One of the things we found is by loading our product within an actual browser and allowing back and forward and new tabs and all this stuff here, Worldox can easily get lost and or maybe lose locations in there, or real easy to hit the X button and close it. So this allows you to have the window framework, but with the Web3.2 inside. You'll notice it's exactly identical, uses the same code as what I just showed you in the pure Google agent. The difference is there will be a tool running. The web agent tool will run down there, and it is and has been the front end of GX4 Worldox. It's the piece that we pulled apart that says, hey, hook Word and Excel and PowerPoint to make them pop up when you save and open. So all the hook technology with GX4 works with this product. Whatever you want to trap, we can trap with file open save. It also allows APIs to work third parties. If you have a Fujitsu scanner or whatnot, it now can access this API and do various functions for save and open within Worldox. So it makes it really nice. And then with this, you'll notice there's just an open. There's no checkout, check-in. We pretty much do that for you as you open files. They will come up. If you have versions, it'll of course prompt you to do that. Let's see. Let me. So you have the standard save as dialog. You make your edits. You want to save it as a new version. It pulls up, of course, the web-based version of the dialog where you can add additional comments. You can replace the file, save as version 2. Very, very closely follows Save Outside of Worldox, follows the nomenclature and the architecture of what Worldox does. As you go close the file, the files will check in, and it's already checked in, so it'll do what you want it to do. There, depending on cutting a connection, there's always the I lost my connection, that kind of thing. So we've made it pretty easy in here to view your current checked out files. So we're pretty good about it. As most of you know, with Worldox, there's not a lot of errant files that are laying around. We're pretty good about grabbing things and ensuring they're checked in, checked out. But there again, instead of looking at your local server, we're now depending on the web. We're depending on your connection. So this way, you can easily find your checked out files and then check them back in to make sure your cleanup is nice and easy. So we can certainly do private demos. Our resellers are all out there for those of you who use resellers to help you with this. This product is free. It's included with your Worldox maintenance. Something very important to me. We stopped charging for this a couple of years ago, even pre-pandemic. I just came to a point where all of our clients need whatever access they can get within the realm of what we can do. So we're excited about that. If you're a smaller firm and don't want the web server, the cost of it, the setup, etc., we have a provider we work with, that's actually Kraft Kennedy, that they host the web server architecture for us, the multi-tenant version. So for a monthly fee, you just subscribe and they set it up, they point it to your documents, and you have this whole product with a small monthly fee to cover the server costs and such, where you don't have to even set anything up. So if you want to maybe, test the waters, you buy a couple subscription copies of this here, have it set up, and see how you like it. If you're a bigger firm, there's a cost break point probably of so many users, then all of a sudden you may just want to put the server inside and have no really ongoing cost for that. It's important to note too that with Web Mobile, when you get that installed, the Web 3.1 or 3.2, it makes your iPad and iOS apps fully available. So now all of a sudden with this installed, the same login and URL will get you to the web access or the app access on the iOS, which is a very, very powerful application we've had for a while, but the premise of how that works is through the web server. So we have clients that even before web was this powerful here, as we're getting it, they would have Web Mobile just for the iOS access. So we've talked a little bit about day-to-day use in Worldox here. And again, there's other things that you guys are maybe thinking and that we have on our list that we will be weaving into 3.3 and 3.4 throughout the year. It's going to be a continual process here. Cool thing about web is you can create additions pretty quickly in compared to the compiled application. So one of the shortcomings that was here a while back was email. What do I do with email? So you may or may not have heard, we have an Exchange email agent that is standalone. You don't need Worldox GX4 to be installed. In the traditional sense, Worldox, when you install it, it also hooks into Outlook and copies and move email. While with web, you don't have GX4 installed on your desktop probably. So how do I do that? So the web agent, I don't have a full demo of that on my machine, guys, but you'll have to trust me, and we have demos online for that too. So what happens is you create now under your inbox, like you're probably doing now, or your attorneys are doing now, you right click and you create any folders you want in there. And then you assign them to a Worldox client matter. And then you also can choose, do I want to leave it in the folder, meaning copy to Worldox, or do you want to move it and move it out of the folder? In these selections, I have chosen just copy to Worldox. So everything I drug in here behind the scenes is exchange-based, so it's a server-based move or copy. It's moved them into Worldox. You get a little green highlight, a tag with save to Worldox, which is globally available, so other users can see that you've moved that file. It's been moved into Worldox as that happens. So that's a really quick way. You of course have your standard copy and move. If you want to email, you can copy and move that. But the Exchange agent is really where I think where the magic happens. You create your folders, map the folders, and drag and drop, and they'll immediately be available through the web agent. So that was my demo, guys. I mentioned it wouldn't be long. We probably could dig into other areas, but that's it for now. If we have questions, I'd be glad to answer any questions that we have. Hella, do you see any?
Let me check. There were a few that I didn't get to answer yet. Let me see. There was one about the email, the Exchange. They actually want to know if it also works with Worldox Cloud, and
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that
so
does.
we'll get back to them.
Yeah, we'll get back to him on that. So we are trying to make all the products. We first make it available for the heavy client and the web client, and then we move secondarily into the cloud and the enterprise application. So I'm not sure if that's where that's at in the port process.
Okay.
And then let's verify.
Mm-hmm. When is the projected release date?
We're like yesterday. We were probably kind of ready a month ago, but there were some tweaks. We're in no rush for this. Hopefully, people need to be patient. And I really wanted it right. And there were some things we needed to adjust on it. And I really wanted another month of QA to just make sure, we always find things in the field, different environmental issues, connection issues. But I wanted just to make sure it was, much solid as we could get it, in addition to a few little tweaks that made it more user-friendly. I don't know, Chris has a scheduled date. I believe we're pre-released now, so clients can use it. Some are using it, and you can try it on a standalone basis at your firm. But I believe end of the month is when we'll be cutting over our hosted version, which then there'll be the new code will be this code. And if you have Web 3.1, it's a standard update process to update you to 3.2. You'll of course then need to let your users know, either get training through a reseller or let them know that the agent has changed a little bit. And two, we're, as it's free, we encourage you guys to get it installed and use it as needed. And we're really, really interested in how close or what is the delta from being able to use this instead of GX4. I know that that's a powerful program that even I love, my heavy client, but we're really interested once you guys start using it in the field is where's our delta and what items are missing from just using this as your DMS app. And we know that it's not perfect today, but the goal is to get there.
Okay. Somebody asked if you are able to show the open, update, and save on the web server versus the agent.
On the open and save?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just showed it, but I can, sure. Basically, you highlight a file and you click the open button, and then it will obviously, like Worldox, ask you to, if it has versions of the file, it will know, and it'll say, you want to do another version of this version here, and then it will check it out, and then it will launch directly into Word. You'll see the little agent where it's checking out the file. And then, here's all of my demo system, guys, so it's not exactly a legal document. And then this allows you to, here's the file name up here. As you save, it continues to save back into Worldox. And then, of course, if you save as, it'll pop up the profile dialog and allows you to make a comment and 6 maybe, actually it's version 7, isn't it? And save as a version or save as a new file or save outside of Worldox. Pretty closely simulates, saves the file, updates it, and then of course, once you close, then it will check that file back in and make it available for the rest of the firm. That should all happen, pretty much in the background.
Okay. It looks like we have a few more questions, and a lot of them we will follow up with you after the webinar, because some of them are more specific to certain sites. So we appreciate all the questions, and we will we'll get back to all of you, double check on certain things that we need to let you know about.
Great. Well, thank you so much, guys. Enjoy your day and be safe.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we are going to post a recording, so anyone who wants to either look at it again or who didn't have a chance to see it can see it. And we hope that you will all join us again for another session.